What's up, y'all? This is Carolyn from Noteworthy Media. I'm back to do a review on To Have and to Hold Charlotte, which is on the OWN network. I missed a couple of episodes to do review. I watched them, but I didn't do the review. So I'm gonna kind of combine a little bit. I'm gonna talk about this last episode, which was Saturday night, um, episode 8, Party Bus or Bust. And I probably had to fill you in on some of the backstory and let you know what happened on the previous episodes. But anyway, so the show opens with the end of the Christmas party. They were at the Christmas party that Tyywadi and David were having, and Alane and Josh end up having this very heated discussion about Juliana being invited to the couples party. Peter had confided in Alane and told her that he was kind of tired of Juliana always being around their friends, and that, they never seem to be able to do things as a couple because they're always inviting her. So he wants to create this boundary so that she doesn't just show up at stuff anymore. Elaine took it upon herself to expose that when she saw Juliana and make her feel very uncomfortable, as to say, why are you showing up at couples events? You don't need to come. It makes them feel funny. So Josh got a little out of pocket and he felt some kind of way about that. And he started going back and forth with Elaine. Y'all have to watch the episode to get all the dialogue and conversation. But basically, what I did like about it was Clinton and Yandrick, they actually were trying to say, well, look at it from Elaine's point of view. If Peter is telling her and sharing with her, then y'all need to be looking at Peter, because he should have just came to you directly instead of telling Elaine. So I kind of get that part also. But the point that they're bringing up is that Elaine doesn't really get vocal until she gets drunk. That's the narrative they're trying to paint. So the whole issue is Josh used to be married to Juliana. They have 2 daughters. Now they got a divorce and Josh fell in love with Peter. So Peter and Josh are seriously dating. They're in a committed relationship. Peter doesn't know, but Josh is planning to propose. He actually took Elaine ring shopping with him to try to get some ideas. Josh and Elaine are not friends. Peter and Elaine are friends. So it was kind of awkward, but I guess it was like, well, how girlfriends, the guy will ask her best friend to go along with him because it's like you're her best friend, so So it was kind of that thing going on. But anyway, so Josh has his grandmother's ring, I think, and he wanted to use some of the stones for the engagement ring to give to Peter. So that's how it all kind of got started, and it just went downhill from there, their relationship. So they actually, let me see. So Peter actually went outside after the whole blow up because Tyywadi, Christine, they took Juliana outside to kind of calm down and see where her head was at. So Peter came outside because he felt like he needed to say something. He kind of felt bad about everything. So Peter was just telling her, like, I have a brother. My brother's my family, but I don't go hang out with my brother's friends. And he was trying to get her to see from that example, like, okay, you're family, but we don't hang out with your friends, so why you shouldn't hang out with our friends. So he broke it as gently as he possibly could. And then they came to like an understanding. They said they understood, but I don't think that it really clicked with Juliana, because now she's made friends with these people, because Tyywadi invited her, and didn't even check with anybody. She just invited her because they're so used to them being a threesome. Anyway, so everybody go back inside. They're sitting in the living room, and Tyywadi and David tell everybody that they have decided to fully separate. Christine she get on my nerves. She's a jerk. She's like, I told y'all. I could have told y'all that from the beginning. I told y'all that. Like, that nesting was BS. Da, da, da. So Ursula and Alane, they're both like, I felt like they were the more stable in their marriages. Like, I feel like Christine is using Darryl. She saw a meal ticket and she ran with it. She probably have grown to have feelings, but I don't think that was the original intention. I think Alane and Ursula are more committed in their marriage. Like, they're more of the two have become one thing. And so I felt like they were just like, yeah, we know times get tough. We hate to see you guys break up because we're all, you know, friends and like to hang out together as couples, but whatever you need us to support you in, we're there for you. You know, I didn't feel like they were condescending or judgmental like Christine is. So David says, although they're separating, they're still family and they're just going to focus on being good co-parents. The next day, Peter and Josh talk about the party, which Peter calls the Crimson Crime, the Crimson Christmas Crime, because there was a lot of verbal bloodshed going on. So they invite Julie over to see where her head's at, to have that talk with them and her. And they all feel like Alane disrespected Tywyadi's house and assaulted Julie's character. Julie did say to Peter that Alane took what you said. Like, she brought it up. Like, she had to get this from you. So you kind of gave her the ammo to go off on me like that. So she kind of felt bad, you know, called him out on that. And she said she didn't really want to get into it with Alane because she had been drinking. And it's, you know, you can't talk to drunk people, basically. But Josh feels like that Alane was being strategic. Like, she's trying to divide Josh and Peter because she was defending her friend Peter and not the sanctity of their relationship. So they all decided that this is a very unique situation. They're going to write their own family dynamics and rules. So Ursula, Clint, Alane, and David go on a road trip to Pleasantville, North Carolina. That's where Alane is going to be taking her new job. She's going to be working 5 days a week in Pleasantville, and then she's going to come home on the weekends to Charlotte. Pleasantville, I didn't do the MapQuest, but I'm guessing it's like a couple hours away, 1 or 2 hours away. Maybe longer. I'm not sure. I'll check and let you guys know next week. So they talk about the Christmas party. Ursula feels like Alane's intention were right, but her delivery was wrong. I mean, she was drunk, so you're not going to get a right delivery from a drunk person or tipsy person, whatever. So Ursula claims she's going to be, they start talking about Ursula and her new job and what she's going to do because she's used to living in the city. She's used to having access to all these amenities, and now you're going to the country and there's nothing out there. So she said, I'm just going to work during the day as long as I get Amazon delivery, and I'm coming home on the weekends, you know, and I'm going to chill at night. So I don't know. I don't believe Ursula because I feel like she's beautiful, you know, she's young, she raised her children, she's smart. I mean, any guy would, you know, want to have her. So I don't see how she thinks she's just going to be out there by herself and nobody. I don't know if it's an office that she's I guess it is, since she's moving out there. It's an office that she's moving to. But anytime in sales and, you know, somebody don't have to be cute to have an affair, you know. So I don't know. And she just gives me, she looks like a tease. Like, she looks like she plays coy with guys and stuff. So I don't know. I'm like Clinton. How this gonna work? I don't get it. So, you know, he was trying to find all these reasons why she shouldn't stay. Say, you're a vegan, there's no options out here. And they stop at this cafe, and it's like, this is what you're gonna eat every night. Like, no. It's so Ursula pretty much just tells him, look, I made up my mind, this is what I'm gonna do. I don't care if you don't support me, I'm just gonna show you that I can do this and make it work. And you'll fall in line, you'll fall in suit. And so he was like, yeah, pretty much. That's all I could really do. So Christine and Darryl go cake tasting for her birthday. She wants to have this big party. They go over the guest list. She's up in the air about inviting Alane and Yandra, but of course she has to. They're filming. And then they change the subject. They start talking about children because, Darryl really wants to have kids. She doesn't really want to have kids. She enjoys being a dink. They consider themselves double income, no kids. So she enjoys just going on vacations and spending time with her husband. She knows if she has a child, it's going to slow her down. But she is open to going to the doctor. She does want to check on in vitro fertility, issues and all of that. So she is open now to seeing, okay, if we don't get pregnant naturally, what next steps are we going to take? Like, what else can we do? So she's compromising. She's compromising. Now, this Tyywadi and David situation, they are so mature. We're not used to seeing that on TV. We're used to seeing when couples get to the brink of divorce, y'all cussing each other. Somebody's already moved on, dating someone. You're keeping the kids away from the other one. And we're just not used to seeing this level of maturity. And it's just, Mama O, Lady O, she don't play that on her network. She gonna show people this. You can have a civil disagreement in a marriage and dissolve the marriage and move on, as two mature, committed, not committed, but conversation, two adults having a civil conversation. They're really showing us how it's done, because one thing that I think couples don't do, and this is where people get hurt in relationships, is they don't set the ground rules. So here they are setting the ground rules for their separation. So Tyywadi says, well, you cannot bring her to our home, even though it's no longer our home, but it's where our children are. So he's like, oh, of course, yeah, I would never do that. And so she was like, well, he said, I wouldn't date any of your friends or family, any of your close friends. And she's like, okay, yeah, I appreciate that, And she was like, well, you can't date any girls that you dated or wanted to date before you met me, because if you didn't get them then, you can't have them now, And that would be just like the knife, twisting a knife in the back, because it's like, yeah, he left you for me, but y'all didn't work out, so now I'm gonna get him now. And people tend to do that in relationship, and that's hurtful. So they both said in their confessionals that they were having a hard time thinking about the other one with someone else. So this is kind of difficult for them to go through, even though they're going through it as maturely and respectful as possible. It's still a difficult thing. They're dealing with it emotionally. Julie goes and see her friend Sally. Sally is her lawyer, but Sally looks like a Hispanic Lauren London. I just kept looking at her and I was like, this chick looked like a Spanish Lauren London. Like, this is so funny to me. But she tells her dad she's ready to change her last name. Under Josh's advice, Josh suggested, since their divorce and separation, that was just another thing that she could do to finally separate herself and become her own person again, to change to remove his last name, especially since he plans to propose to Peter. So she tells Sally that, and Sally's like, well, how do you feel about that? And she says, oh, I'm very happy for them. And, my kids love him and they call him Poppy and da-da-da-da. So I feel like she's not in love with Josh anymore, but I feel like she never dealt with the trauma of divorce, because this is still painful for her. I feel like she made sure her kids were good. She made sure he was good, which women we tend to do, and she neglected herself. And now that everybody else has moved on and doing their own thing, now she has to deal with her, because there's nothing else left to clean up. So Darryl rents a party bus for Christine. Christine is going to meet them at the venue because she's getting dressed in her, fabulousness and all that. So he picks everybody up on this party bus, and the bus is lit. They're taking shots. There's a stripper pole. I don't think nobody danced on a stripper pole, but they were just having fun. It was good, clean, mature, grown folk fun. They were just talking and everything. So Yandra asked them, "Is Julie coming?" So Josh gets irate and he's like, "I'm not her gatekeeper. I don't know," which makes me feel like he is offended by them asking. I don't like that because I feel like you're not offended inviting her to so many places, but now that Alane has made an issue of it, now you're offended when people ask you, which I thought was a valid question. Does anybody know if she's coming? It didn't have to be all that. Everybody could have just looked around and said, I don't know. I ain't invited her. Or Darryl could have been like, yeah, that's Christine's friend. Of course I invited her. And then, but Darryl wasn't at the Christmas party. I don't remember him. So maybe he doesn't really know about all the new dynamic changes. So anyway, Elaine says, well, yeah, I think she should come because of the said reason. Christine and Julie are friends. So Josh says, and Elaine says, I don't have any beef with her. And Josh says, good, I'm glad you've grown. And Elaine was like, everybody said, oh, hell. And Elaine was like, I'm grown. What you mean I'm grown? And so they kind of get into it a little bit, but they quickly break it up, change the subject. So they get to the party. Christine makes her grand entrance, and she had a white satin dress. She did look good. The dress was pretty. She had a Louboutin cake. Darryl made an announcement on the mic that he had surprise gifts for her, which he called the 10-piece, which was $10,000 worth of gifts. He gave her shoes. I think it was Jimmy Choo's or maybe some more Louboutins. 2 different purses. One of the purses contained money. They were all hundreds, so it had to be a couple $1,000s in it. So he did it up for her birthday. Plus the party, whatever it cost incurred for the party. So they take pictures. They're gambling. It's a casino theme type, or maybe it was just casino events there. They're gambling. They're mingling. And Peter tells Christine about that Josh and Elaine got into it on the bus. So Elaine goes over there and they kind of get really into it, and which I was very annoyed because clearly they both were drunk at this point, Elaine and Josh, and it was just 2 drunk people trying to have a conversation, and that was just horrible. So that was To Have and to Hold, episode 8. I try to incorporate a little bit of previous stuff, but I think this is a pretty good reality series for the OWN network. Love and Marriage Huntsville is coming back, produced by Carlos King. And that's going to be season 2. I don't know when that's going to premiere. I think they're filming now. So, but I think for the first 2 try on the OWN network, it's pretty good, pretty entertaining, great new characters, very diverse backgrounds and all that. So it's pretty cool. I love it. So make sure y'all follow me on Instagram at noteworthy_media group. And I will see you later. Y'all have a great day.